have you been drawing?
Since birth. Furry I've been drawing for about 12 years now.
12 years now?
27.
Not much.
Do you,
but still.
just like, you attended FurFright last year, right?
Yes.
Do you notice anything different from last year than you do from this year?
Bigger, more organized. I was more involved last year with behind the scenes stuff, and I can tell you it's a lot smoother running this year than it was last year. Last year was just a party. That's my intention was just to be a party. This is the con.
I think my post is like
It became the con last year, totally unintentionally, and this year it's now the full-fledged con. It's going.
you know, he's like a friend and then Spanish.
Do you expect it to be better next year?
Definitely.
Definitely.
I know Bear and Kara, they'll be working on this probably tomorrow.
Okay, that's good. And what would your name be?
Matthias Blackwell.
How long have you been creating art?
Since about, I'd say 1994, 95.
Do you attend cons regularly?
Oh yeah, I go to about 3 or 4 cons a year.
And compared to other cons, how would you, even though it's cons in its infancy, how would you compare it to others?
It's got a pretty good start. Reminds me of MFM when it was still fun. It's not too big and it's not too small.
And would this be something that you'd like wanting to attend as it continues on and grows? Would you still willing to continue coming to FurFright?
As long as my sister still lives around here, yeah.
So it's for distance-wise, locally, it's a pretty good distance-wise and everything.
Well, I live in Alabama, but I just happened to be visiting my sister when this con happened. I didn't know about it. It was last minute. I was like, wow, it's really close, half an hour away.
So you were like kind of a last-minute addition onto it, and they had no problem accepting you into the dealer's room and everything like that?
No, I mean, a friend with Fennec, and he split this table with me.
Well, take a step back. And get both of you. And what would your name be?
Well, I'm known in the fandom as Fennec. I've been in the fandom for about, going to be coming up on my 10th year in the fandom next spring. And I've basically just been drawing naughty, disgusting things in the fandom for quite a while now, I guess.
And as I asked before, compared to other cons, how do you feel FurFright's coming along?
I think it's coming along very well. As with any growing con, there are a few things like organizational things that I find a little bit of a problem with this time as opposed to last time. I thought it was really fun last time. It was just boom one day and everybody's like, it was pretty cool. Actually, I really liked this con though. It's a wonderful hotel. Everybody's very nice, and the con is really turning out well, I think. From its growth spurt from like a little one-day camp to a day and a half.
So you've seen a tremendous growth in the people that came to the con as opposed to last year?
Oh, absolutely. This is much more of a con than just a one-day, more like a one-day party.
It was just like a big meet last time.
Right, it was more like a one-day meet / party.
So how long have you two known each other?
What was it, Anthrocon 99?
Anthrocon 99, yeah. We met at Anthrocon 99, and we've, been seeing each other at cons several times a year at Anthrocon, for the Confusion MFF. Used to go to MFM before it got too big, and so
Now it's just really commercial.
Yeah.
Just too huge and everything.
Well, it lost sight of what it was for, and it was to be a fun weekend, which was a more close and intimate thing, which this is, which was quite nice. This convention, it's nice and it's not too big, it's not too overblown, so you can enjoy yourself.
So people, traditional people say, well, you meet someone at a con, you become friends with them, you'll never see them again. And as you guys have proven that that's not tremendously always true.
Well, in our case, we see each other almost every convention. So, having a convention without the same type of people who I usually room with or hang out with would be kind of odd for me. So yeah, I would say that most people, if I meet the fandom or fans who I see over the years, I keep seeing over and over and over again. So I don't think that they're in any way, any of these sort of people I meet are in any way trends. It's just like, I'm going to see you again. And next convention down the line, or the next, it's kind of reinforces the whole community idea.
All right, thank you. So how long have you guys been coming to cons?
Well, we're kind of diverse there. I've been involved in comics both as a fan and as a dealer for almost 45 years. And I've been a dealer for 15. I always tell people, when you get really involved in it, it's almost like being on drugs. Sooner or later you have to become a dealer to support your own habit. This is Leah. She's only been part of my life for about 8 months now, and she had no idea what the word furry referred to until she met me. And she's been a big help in helping me expand the business. Our business now is much greater than it ever was before, and it's due primarily to her abilities to build us a website and expand on a merchandise line that I never had before, and she's been really great with that.
Did you guys meet at a convention, or?
We didn't meet at a con, no. We just met socially and proceeded from there.
And you had no problems like getting sucked into this whole new lifestyle?
Actually, I think it's very interesting. I really enjoy it. I think it's a lot of fun. I'm a people watcher, and so I like to watch all of the people at the con and all of the things that are going on. And I especially like to watch the reactions of non-furries that are guests in the hotel that the con's being held at when they see furries, especially when they see fursuits. It's really a lot of fun.
What did you think of like when you first saw like a whole bunch of people walking by in fursuits and stuff? I know you've probably seen like mascotting and stuff like that before, but like at a hotel itself per se.
Actually, I had never seen it until we went to Anthrocon. So Anthrocon was my first con. It was kind of like jumping into the deep end. I was really wowed by all the costumes. And then we were in Memphis over Labor Day weekend, and some of the fursuits there were just spectacular, and we really enjoyed it. I have to say that I like the smaller cons better because they're more of a social event than a commercial event.
You know, you can get to meet more people and still be like walking down the halls and be like, oh hi, instead of seeing one face and never seeing them again.
Right.
But as dealers though, you must see a lot of people come through and everything like that. On basis, do people like come through once and then they'll come back again later and buy something else?
Oh, definitely, yeah. Especially in an atmosphere, whether it's a big show or a small show, I've seen that because a lot of times at the beginning of a show, people just want to look around. They want to see what's available to them. You know, instead of just jumping right in and spending every dime they have in their pocket at the first table, and then going on to the next table and going, oh my God, look at that, this guy's got something, and I'm all out of money now. So a lot of people like to float around first and see what's available, and then they come back and make the purchases that they want based on, you know, how the cash flows.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
What's your name?
Well, I'm SilverFox of SilverFox Publications. It's Sunday, and everyone is very tired. It's the perfect time to do an interview. It's a pretty nice con. It really is.
How long have you been creating art?
We've been working on this for about 10 years now. This is our 10th anniversary.
As it says in your shirt.
10 years of screwing with the mundane. And this is a fun little sideline helping out new writers and artists to get a start. All of the stuff we publish is amateur and professional furry art and writing. And a pretty fun thing to do on the side.
How long have you been in the fandom itself?
I've been in the fandom about About 14 to 15 years. I started out with lycanthropy and werewolves, and gradually evolved into a strange-looking silver fox. So, my wife, on the other hand, of many, many years, came into the fandom as a penguin. She's one of the few anthro penguins going nowadays.
Now, was this something that she was already into the fandom before she met you, or?
No, she wasn't. We were married for about 10 years before we got into this. And we happened to be at another science fiction convention that I helped found. And she found some interesting magazines called Yarp. She's regretted that fact to this very day, since we have all this to thank for those neat little Yarp.
Did you attend FurFright last year?
No, I didn't. This is my first time. This is a great little con. You know, it's nice and quiet. It's relaxing. You know, I had no trouble.
Compared to other cons, you know, even though FurFright's in its infancy, how would you compare it to a larger con?
Very well. It's well run. The people who've done the jobs have been on the ball. I haven't seen a single slowdown or difficulty in anything, except the poor guys at the dance last night that got told 20 minutes before they had to get their equipment out that they had to get their equipment out. And it wasn't the con's fault. But I think they've done a good job of it. I really do.
Is FurFright a con that you would like to come back to?
Oh yes, I'll be back next year, I'm sure. I actually even made a little profit, so.
Oh, that's even better.
Well, the good thing is it wasn't a big investment. So, you know, you have cons like Anthrocon or FurCon, further confusion, that are large, and you tend to get lost in the crowd. You know, there's so many people here. That's why I like coming to the smaller cons like this or
smaller dealer area. You can be more intimate with the
just
customers.
Smaller overall. You know, it's fun when the dealer's room closes to go out and see everybody. You know, there's not 200,000 people on the dance floor at the dance. You can actually get a seat in the restaurant without a 3-hour wait. It's nice. It's nice to see friends, old and new. I've seen quite a few people here that I know from the years.
So as FurFright expands, you still, even though if and when it becomes the size of like, you know, gets close to size like AC or FC, would it be something that you'd still be willing to attend?
I believe so, yeah. I believe so. It really is a fun time. I was really impressed by everything. I've been going to science fiction cons for 25 years. I've been going to FurCons for 10 years. And I think you guys have done a really great job.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
What would your name be?
My name is Louis Leclerc.
And how long have you been an artist?
An artist? Probably since I was about 8 years old, honestly, off and on.
And what about as an artist in the furry thing?
As an anthro artist?
Yes.
I'd say probably around 7 years when I found the fandom, basically. I was cruising through the web and I found some pictures and said, what's this? That's when I found the link to Furry Muck, and that's basically where it all ended. Now I'm here drawing animal freaking furry spooge and all this other nice stuff. Yes, mamas, don't let your babies grow up to be cowboys or anthro artists.
So I think you've attended other cons as well.
Yes, I was there for Anthro 98. It was my second con. Most memorable because I got to see Uncle Kagamushi lick the belly button lint out of George Grote. It was a memorable experience to say the least. But that's another story. If you want to know that, buy the videos.
Compared to larger cons, how do you think of FurFright?
Well, it's still finding its feet. It's a young con. So, they've got some stuff to iron out. Right now it's more of a sociable, personable con. I was sort of expecting something a bit different. I was pleasantly surprised that you could actually sit around and chat with people. It was low-key, not nearly as much pressure as you call at Anthrocon, either to sell or to try to sell. I see my sentiments are choking you all up.
With other dealer areas and so forth, other conventions, the smaller areas, you find yourself like easier to converse and talk to other dealers and people like that.
Well, there are some good things and bad things that go along with having a small dealer area. For example, we were split into 2 rooms. The first room gets more of the traffic and business because people will stop there look around and make their purchases, and sometimes not even realize there's another room right down the road. It's something that it happens every con, basically. Like, there's always a problem with the dealer's room. It's just the nature of the beast. There's been talk about getting a bigger room for next year that we can fit all of us into at once, would probably help a lot.
Any improvements that you'd like to see upon FurFright?
Here so far? Well, it's hard to suggest improvements because I don't know what their fundage is or their volunteer staff is and stuff.
Anything you'd like to see next year with FurFright?
I'd like to see a proper area to display art, you know, like an artist alley and stuff. Not an artist alley per se is selling, but where you can hang a gallery and stuff like that. Of course, that depends on how many artists they get and artists who are willing to put stuff up. There's no sense renting a huge room and only putting 10 pictures up in it, obviously. But perhaps a smaller room, you know, maybe like this room right here would be good for it. If we decide to move down to the other ballroom, someplace that people can just display art either for sale or not for sale.
Thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome.
What would your name be?
My name would be Silverwolf.
And how long have you been in the fandom?
How long have I been in the fandom? Oh, well, let's see, 13 and 23 now, so at least 10 years. 10 years or more.
MK4 just happened to be the
Creator furry products.
Yes, creator of furry products, tails, ears, paws, and full fursuits.
Who did that?
Yes.
Who is that?
I'm not too sure. What's he doing to me? He's picking my nose.
Thanks for everything.
No problem.
Okay.
What do you think about the
It's like by
Now, how
some
long have you
miracle I
been
come into
creating
a fortune
suits and
of
tails?
Well, actually, it's been about a year for the last FurFright. Me and my partner Spots decided we wanted to do something to make a little money at the conventions instead of just going there and participating. We did the only thing we could think of and decided to make tails, and it just expanded from there.
You took a FurFright last year. How do you see last year to this year?
Huge differences. Last year, the convention was only a one-day thing, and I was on the staff then and did sell. Did a lot of business last year. This year, with it being an actual hotel convention, just 2 days and a lot more events, and you don't have to worry about packing up and going home at the end of the day. So it's a lot better, a lot more people, a lot more fun. It's just growing. I can't wait for next year's.
Compared to larger cons, how do you view FurFright?
I like it. It's you get AC, you get the thousands and thousands of people. It can be fun, but it gets way too crowded, way too quick. Can't get into some of the events here. It's like you got a seat wherever you want to go. You get to meet more people. You get to talk. You get to know faces. It's a lot more personal of a convention.
So then you like took some empty soda bottles.
Yeah, I like it.
Let's sit here.
Obviously,
I've got like
staff
8,000
last year, staff
bottles
this year again. From an attendee point of view versus a staff's point of view,
2 days ago.
how is it different?
Well, with attending Anthrocon, it's you don't have really many things that you need to do. You just do whatever you want to do. Being on staff is a lot of work, but it's very rewarding at the end of the day. You know that you help put this together, and just you get to look at everybody having fun and feel good to know that you were a part of making this con what it was.
People have been like grabbing
And as FurFright continues to grow like that, it's something that you most likely still want to attend.
Oh yes, I will always be on staff as long as they'll allow me. And I plan on vending too, as long as I can.
Alright, my name is DFN, Desert Fox Nick, or otherwise known as Saving Trends. Yeah, I don't know if the boom mic would be a great of an idea.
How long have you been an artist?
I'd probably have to say that I've been trying to do the artwork thing since 2000, 2001, that area.
This your first year as a dealer? Or do you attend other cons here?
No, at other cons, I've been a dealer. We had Matthias Fennick and I had a magazine going for a little while until I got busy into my other job, which was for Swishing Magazine. And it was just like this pinup, thing, magazine for gay furry artwork. But I wanted to go in a little bit more hardcore direction with the magazine, and I just really haven't had the time, really haven't had the time to really push for what I wanted for that magazine. One of these days it will come back.
You've been a dealer at other cons. How do you compare smaller convention like FurFright versus a larger convention?
I like smaller ones. A bigger convention, you're stuck, or I don't want to say you're stuck only with one friend for about like every 10 minutes, but I mean, you got so many people in a bigger convention that to me it's almost a waste of time. I didn't go to AC this year.
So you find the smaller cons more intimate, more able to...
Yes, most definitely. More intimate, you get to get with your friends a lot more easier.
Did you attend FurFright last year?
No, this is my first time.
And is this something, would you attend FurFright next year as well?
Yeah, if I have the money, I'll definitely be here. Let's see, I got here because my insurance company came through with some root canal payments.
Some more dental work for next year.
Yeah, more dental work for next year, and yeah, I'll be here.
Oh yeah. Now, as an attendee versus a dealer, how do you compare the difference?
I would probably have to say that the dealers have a lot more responsibility than just somebody who's just attending. I mean, if somebody who's just attending could just pretty much roam the halls and they could have their art book and stuff like that, and they can draw that way. They don't have to have a table. But I sort of like that in a way. I mean, everybody sort of gets a chance that way, as long as they have that freedom. Just obviously I would be a pusher for the First Amendment and such, but just the freedom of being able for anybody who is a willing artist to be there is really good. I really enjoy that.
So FurFright is like you said, if you have a bigger group, you'd be more willing to attend to like a larger group.
Yeah, larger conventions, you tend to get a lot more people, a lot more minors, and a lot more awareness about what type of content is actually out there.
With smaller cons, it's easier to control some of the businesses.
Right. I would agree with that.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
And what was your name, Bill?
I'm Torrin Fox.
Sending off the creditors and such this weekend.
This is your first time at FurFright? You went to last year? Or?
I did come last year when it was just a little lodge room. It was still a lot of fun. It was certainly not what we expected.
Have you seen a big change between last year and this year?
Yeah, I have. Last year I would say that FurFright was basically a big Halloween party. This year it seems like a mini Anthrocon. I certainly wouldn't say that that's a bad thing. It just has definitely a different atmosphere to it.
Good morning.
Compared to larger
Fire sale price.
like, FurFright, which is a
Nice
smaller
here. You
con,
take care.
how would you compare the two?
The shirts are going for me.
Well, as a dealer, my vantage point on the convention is certainly different than most people's. You know, I spend a lot of time preparing to come down here to sell my stuff, and then I don't really get into the different panels and activities as much as the regular con goers. Like I said, from my vantage point, it does seem certainly like a scaled-back version of Anthrocon. Definitely less people. That's probably the biggest difference between Anthrocon, MFF, this. You know, like I said, it's not a bad thing. Each convention sort of has its own personality, you can say, and I certainly like this one.
So you kind of find FurFright a little bit more personable for people, for interaction-wise, versus like a large mass of people?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, it's easier to hang out with people, just sort of go go with whatever group you want rather than getting lost in the crowd. Like I said, as a dealer, I come here, I don't really do as much hanging out with people as the other con goers do. So from my vantage point, it isn't that much difference between this and Anthrocon or anything else. From my point, the biggest difference is sales. At Anthrocon, I make more sales. I do have more competition from a lot more artists, but this is nice too. It's a lot more low-key, laid back, a little easier to deal with.
How long have you been into the fandom?
Oh, into the fandom itself? Well, I've been drawing anthropomorphic artwork ever since I was 15. I didn't even find out about the fandom until a couple years after that. I didn't start going to furry conventions until Anthrocon 2000 was my first one. The first convention that I went to selling things in Artist Alley was Anthrocon 2001, and I believe Anthrocon, was it 2003 or 2002 or 3 that I started getting a dealer's room?
It was 3.
2003, okay.
That was when we made all the mistakes.
Yes.
So, take it as times have gone on, you've learned to fix things.
Yeah, we started to figure out what to expect, how to prepare for all the possible things that could go wrong or just unexpected, the way things could turn out.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, I'm Laura Moser.
Is this your first, did you attend FurFright last year?
Yes, I did.
And were you a dealer last year as well?
No, I wasn't.
You just kind of like
I just came in a big pink frilly dress to dance around and have fun.
Compared to last year versus this year, how do you compare FurFright?
It's more of an actual convention this year. Last year it was kind of just, camp out party, It's like we had our food, we had our dancing, it was just one day, it was nice. Everyone came and everybody left.
As a dealer versus someone who attends a convention, how do you see the differences?
I come to work more than to party, and everyone else comes to party. It's a bit nicer since it's a smaller con, I've been able to get in some partying.
So you've attended larger cons then as well, right? How do you compare FurFright versus something like FF or AC?
It's more relaxed.
Get to know people and stuff like that.
What?
It's a bit easier to get to know people. More intimate with, like, you talk to people easier than you can, like, at larger cons.
No, I think larger cons people talk a lot more. Yeah, everyone seems to be very cliquey here. At the smaller cons, because they got their groups. At Anthrocon, there's more people from all over the world. So everyone's meeting more people and getting to know more people and introducing people and seeing people for the first time. And I already know half the people at this convention because they're all East Coasters. So.
How long have you been in the fandom itself?
About 2 years.
And as an artist in general?
Yeah, just as an artist I started.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
What are your names?
Quicksilver or Allison.
And Gigaleo/Tom.
Did you attend FurFright last year?
No, we did not. No. This is our first FurFright. Previous con to this was Anthrocon. It was our first convention.
Oh, so this is only like your second?
Yeah.
That's smart. Compared to Anthrocon, how do you see FurFright?
I like it because it is smaller. More or less, you get to know the people a whole lot better. It doesn't seem quite as rushed.
Yeah, it's on a smaller scale, so you don't have to deal with people flying everywhere. You see people passing by like more than once, so you can call them by name after a little while. It's a little bit more of a lot friendlier atmosphere.
When you went to AC, were you a dealer or did you just attend?
We did the Artist Alley.
Alley versus a dealer's room.
The Artist Alley at Anthrocon was crazy.
It was first come, first serve, so you had to get there at like 4 or 5 in the morning, sit on the line, sign a list, get in. It was insane. And then the second day that we were there, they announced that on the third day they were going to institute a lottery system.
So we didn't bother going to the Artist Alley on Sunday because we didn't want to deal with it. Getting a table here is so much easier.
Or getting a table with registration is really, really nice.
Yeah, that was a great idea.
Yeah, the fact that you pay to come in and you get to sit at the table is great.
Third day, you didn't attended artist alley, more of just like attending it.
Yeah, we just came up and did in general.
Came, showed up
Initially,
for a few minutes
yeah.
and then left.
In all honesty, we really just kind of chilled out afterwards.
So you kind of find the FurFright's a little bit more personable than like.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's
like, you couldn't find one of the people who ran the convention at an Anthrocon.
Yeah.
Here they're right over there. So you can walk over and say hi or whatever. It's nice.
Right?
Yeah.
When FurFright happens next year, would it be something that you would attend again?
If we're on the East Coast, then definitely yes. If we can afford it, well, you'll be on the East Coast.
I'll be on the East Coast.
If
going anywhere.
I'm graduating, so it depends. But yeah, most definitely. This is definitely, I think, the con that we will go to every year.
Yeah.
You like it that much?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Now, how long have you guys been in the fandom itself?
Oh God.
Longer than I knew that there was a fandom.
Yeah.
Like I did this kind of stuff long before I knew anyone else liked it. I didn't see anyone else doing it, and then found random places online that had it, and I was like, oh, so all right, so I'm not the only weirdo people who draw this kind of stuff. Good. So I'm not weird.
Yeah, I was doing it back in like, oh God. The time that I remember creating original characters that were completely original was like 6th grade, 5th grade, somewhere around there.
Itself and the artistry are just kind of one and the same.
Yeah.
One kind of way, but they both kind of led to the same.
Right. More or less. It was kind of funny. I actually met him at a place we both used to work at, and then we both realized we did the same kind of art, and that's kind of how the studio started. Yeah.
Was it like a meet or a con?
Nope. Nope, we were at work.
It's like, oh, you like to draw? Cool. You have people with ears.
Yes!
So do I.
And that's when the collaborations began.
Yeah.
Evil Empire started.
Yes. Excellent.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
No problem.
Miser?
Miser? There we go. And how long have you been in artist?
I don't remember.
It's been that long.
Pretty much.
Is this your first time attending FurFright?
Nope, I was here last year.
And how do you compare last year versus this year?
It's at a hotel. Bigger, I enjoy it.
Compared to towards like a larger convention like AC or FS.
I prefer more smaller scale cons. The only thing, like, I prefer it to be longer, but at the same time, because that's what I like about larger scale cons, but at the same time, I prefer smaller, medium to small, because then you're not overwhelmed. And it's not like so many people, it's more personal.
Get to know people a little bit better.
Pretty much, you know, it's more personal. It's like you can walk by someone and they'll recognize you, rather than there's a whole bunch of people that are staring at you like you're some alien, you know?
How long have you been in the fandom itself?
Probably 3 years. Around 3 years, yeah.
How long have you been an artist?
Since I was 16.
And into the fandom itself?
Well, I got my first computer in 98, somewhere around there.
Did you attend FurFright last year?
Yes.
So we're trying to get him one. How do you compare FurFright last year as to this year?
Well, the area is a lot nicer being in the hotel here. A lot more people, and it's very cool beans.
I'll take you attended other cons as well.
Yes.
How do you compare like a larger con like AC versus
FurFright stuff at me. It seems because it's a smaller con at the moment, it's more personal with be able to talk and get to know people compared to a large scale con like AC. But
This video is going to be that you would like to see from the FurFright, or anything that you think help FurFright a
breeding horses.
He knows not to put it in his mouth. Yeah.
I just think the word needs to get out more for more people to show up. That's,
At other cons, were you more of an attendee or a dealer or artist alley?
this year was my first year. I've only gone to AC beforehand. This was my first year being a dealer there. Every other time, so I think I've gone there 3 years prior to that, was only to attend.
How do you compare being a dealer to an attendee?
Money is nice. No, it's you miss out on a lot of things, which kind of sucks, but it's something different.
I think you're gone. We need to get the word out, and that word is raisins.
And how long have you been in the fandom itself?
I don't know. I've been like interested in it for like a long time, ever since they had like the animal 80s cartoons, like the Wuzzles or Care Bears or the raccoons from Toronto, Canada TV, or Sonic is what most people familiarize them with. Like everyone knows about Sonic or something.
As an artist, how long have you been drawing?
As an artist, I would say maybe like 5 years I've been doing this.
Have you attended other cons as well?
I've been to one for the Confusion, which is in San Jose, California, and I mostly go to AnthroCon. This is my first time at FurFright.
Now, as a dealer, though, how many times have you? Is this your first time as a dealer, or have you attended a dealer
This
regularly?
is my first time as a dealer, but I have been in the artist alley many times before. I found that being a dealer is much easier because you can kind of wake up wherever you want to and are sure that your table is here.
Now, being a dealer, you get to see it from both sides, from behind the table and out in the public. Do you see any difference between the two, or just like in people-wise or anything like that? Do you find yourself interacting more with people as a dealer than as like an attendee, just at the con itself?
The only thing is that it makes me more want to buy something from a dealer, because when I get like sitting there and people just browse about my stuff and like leave and like they're not interested in like a damn thing, it makes me say, I've got to start picking up more stuff now too, because I know how they feel now.
Did you attend FurFright last year, or was this your first year attending FurFright?
This is my first year at this convention. Last year, I didn't even know it existed, so.
Well, it's only its second year. It's still in its infancy. Compared to other large cons, what's your opinion of FurFright?
Well, it is not as hectic. It's easier to get things done. And, well, I hope it gets bigger, but not as big as like AnthroCon or something, because AnthroCon, actually, the size of it just drives me crazy sometimes.
Kind of lose sight of what
what the hell's going on.
What it's all about. You find it with small. You attended smaller cons, right? Anything other than AC small.
Yeah, basically. AC, their goal is to get it up at like 1,000 people each year. Like last year was 1,000. This year it was like 2,000 and something. So I'm guessing next year they're gonna try for 3,000 and something, which is just outrageous.
So the smaller cons are nice.
Yeah.
Actually, sit down and meet people and talk to them and see people again as you go down. You may not even at like a larger con, you may not even see them again. Do you find yourself making a lot more friends because of cons and so forth like that?
Well, this is my first time being here, so I don't know.
At cons in general.
Mostly I go to cons to see the people I already know. If I make a new friend, that's great, but
it's not your goal to go out and do.
Yeah. Just see the people I haven't seen in a year. That's the main goal.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Tell me when you're not running that.
And just for the record, your name.
Action. My name is Action. Oh, quiet.
Now you look like something out of Spaceballs.
the most important thing to me is to bring dignity to the furry fandom, because that's what this is all about, is quiet, humble dignity. And to my dying breath, I'm going to fight for that, as I will fight for the American people, as the Secretary of the Sewage. Can't see.
And your names?
I'm Bellic Bear. Hello, America. Quiet dignity.
What is your job here at FurFright?
Custodial mostly. No, I'm the con bear, con chair person, fur.
And I'm the con cat. Likewise, also Sean Chair.
FurFright, this is only its second year for FurFright. Compared to last year, how do you see the difference in it, how it's grown?
It's huge.
We have working plumbing this year, working toilets. Big jump for us. It's we have more space, have more events, have more attendees. Our pre-registration numbers this year were far exceeded our total attendance for last year. So.
Now, did total attendance surprise you? Did you expect a lot less, or total registration versus what the actual numbers were? Or did it surprise you overall?
For this year, the response this year did surprise us. The response last year surprised us too, because as I've said 1,000 times, we were expecting 35 to 50 attendees, and we got over 160. This year, we don't know.
We were hoping for 150, and now we're close to 300.
Or something like that.
Now that you've seen from actually three sides of a con, as attendee, dealer, and organizer, how do you
It's a lot of work to actually put it on. Much more than just to come and frolic around.
It's more work. It's more. There we go. What was the question again? I want to do a spit take.
Seeing a con from all perspectives, you know, as an attendee, as an artist, as an organizer, how do you view a con overall?
1060?
Cons overall are just a great social gathering of people in the fandom. That's really what the most important thing is, giving a great place for people to come together, to meet friends from across the country and from different countries a lot of the time, and just be able to visit with them. The dealers, the artists, all the events are just things that kind of fill in that sense of community. So as far as organizing it, it's almost say it's the best and or dumbest idea I had to try to do this. The night before the con, I was thinking dumbest ever. And it's a lot harder than anyone could ever imagine. So don't anyone ever diss anyone who puts on a con or volunteers, or even if you don't like a con chair or whatever. I'm not talking about us. I don't even care. I consider myself more of an attendee more than that. But like, if anyone has a problem, like saying Kage does a bad job, you should be slapped, because what he does and what other con chairs do for like Midwest and the other ones that I can't think of now, it's overwhelming. So, props to anyone who is dumb enough to take this on and not have a nervous breakdown in the process.
As FurFright grows and gets bigger and more popular, what are your expectations for it?
I'd like to keep it a very affordable con. There's the anthropomorphic fan community is by and large poor. And
despite all the porn they buy.
Thank you. For the good cookies?
They are incredible.
Cool. Come back next year, I'll bring you cookies. Okay, what was it? It's the last day of the con. What was the question again? I'd like to keep. I remember that. That sounds familiar. I'd like to keep it a very affordable con. Because the fandom doesn't have a lot of people in the fandom don't have a lot of money, and with major cons both before and after this one, people can't take 4 or 5 days off of work and large chunks of money for hotel rooms and attendance and things like that. So I want to keep this 2.5 day con with low price for to register, and so people can come in and have, and won't have to choose between this and another cons.
I talked to quite a few people, and they said that they find FurFright more personal, not more intimate type of one, where you get to know people better and talk to people better. Do you see it as the same way?
Well, I think all cons are very social. I think because this one's smaller than a lot of the major cons, it might seem that way, that it's a lot more. Teasable, ladies and gentlemen. His latest CD is out now. I'm gonna cut that out. And if I knew what I was going to say, I would have said it by now. What the heck was the question again? This is horrible. See, when you put on a con, the stress is insane, and you're living off M&Ms for like 3 days. My brain's just not working at all anymore. Short-term memory loss, right in the middle of a sentence, lost it. Alzheimer's. And he doesn't remember either, which means that it must not have been that good of a question. Okay, it was something about, oh, I remember, yeah, about it being a little more warm and personal. That's just because it's smaller. I think the bigger cons have there's a great environment to socialize, but because it's so big, it might seem overwhelming. But I think what we have going for us is we've kept it small, and the most important thing has been the quality of the dealers, the staff, the volunteers, and the attendees. It's like the Northeast has the best fan base. I'm gonna get in trouble with other furs, but this has one of the best fan bases in the country. It's very tight knit. I think a lot of that's because all the population is very condensed in the Northeast, but everyone comes out and supports events, and they're just a great bunch of people. So.